Yo, what's going on, your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the Cooper Carbine and STG. And I wanted to make this comparison because I wanted to explore the status of Season 2 AR meta. I feel like I've been focusing a lot on the SMG meta, so I wanted to switch over to the AR meta, including the Cooper Carbine, which is, to me, a really good AR. People do give it attention, but I feel like I need to highlight it again because I don't know, right now it's a little bit weird. I know a lot of people are leaning towards Cold War Modern Warfare ARs right now, which is understandable. You guys have a point. If you guys think those are the best ARs in the game, you wouldn't be wrong. But in terms of just Vanguard weapons, we're gonna rock out, try to figure out what the best AR is. But before we do get into the comparison, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000. We just hit 1.91k, so we're now 90 subs away from 2k. So every sub does greatly help. Also, today at 1 p.m. PST, I'm gonna be, me and my boy gonna be competing in the Swags Race to a PC tournament. So if you guys wanna come check it out at always_ghost_, I would greatly appreciate it. We're gonna be trying to grind it, bro. We're gonna try to do this, bro. So if you guys wanna come out and support, please do. But with that being said, let's get into the comparison. Here we have the recoil patterns for the Cooper Carbine, and although it seems like it goes pretty fast and that it shoots up really quickly, this gun's actually really easy to control. I would say that it's not that bad, and if anything, bro, you could just like tweak the class setup. If this class setup is a little too much for you, you'll probably get one that is, even easier to control, which makes this weapon really good. This gun is really fast in terms of like fire rate, and it has no recoil, and that's a pretty good, typically good recipe for a good weapon. Then again, you have guns like the M13, which essentially are what I just described, but have no damage. But the Cooper Carbine feels different. Like, I'm not gonna lie, statistically, the Cooper Carbine isn't like jaw-dropping in terms of stats, but it's not, I don't know, it doesn't feel like an M13, if that makes sense. Like, the M13 really does feel like it shoots marshmallows sometimes. Don't get me wrong. The M13 does hit different sometimes, but the Cooper Carbine doesn't have that same feeling. Like, I think this gun by far is better than like an M13. Hell, maybe might have to even make a comparison one day. Wink, wink. But the fact that, I don't know, like, you can also put like damage rounds. I'm not sure how much different this gun is if you put like the 40-45 round damage mags. I actually should have tried it out. But I feel like if you were to put that on, bro, this gun would feel way better. Granted, you do lose some things, like I think it's fire rate that you lose, so you gotta be careful with that. But I don't know, I'll try it out for the next time to see if it's like really good. But also, this gun has a specific variant right now out that I've been hearing is broken. If you guys are familiar with the new bundle that just came out, which is the Attack on Titan Armor Titan one, in that bundle it comes with a Cooper Carbine variant, really cool variant by the way, and I've been hearing that it's like broken. I'm not too sure how true that is. I just been hearing rumors about it. Now, in my experience, I think that variant is broken, but in a bad way. Like, it doesn't, when I put it on and I use it, it didn't feel like I was using a normal Cooper Carbine. It really felt like I put it on and the shots just weren't hitting, it wasn't acting the same, and I was just like, bro, I stopped using it because it just wasn't good. But I've been hearing the opposite, that is actually a pay-to-win variant, but I haven't felt that. It could be the case. If you guys know more or anything about that, please let me know, because I'm very curious to see if that's true, because if that's true, your boy got to probably abuse it until it gets fixed. I mean, hey man, that variant is really cool, and if it gives you an added benefit, like, might as well use it, right? I did pay $24 for it, so what I'm saying, or 24, whatever, 200 or 2,400 car points. I paid money for it, right? Gotta take advantage of what I paid for. But yeah, man. With that being said, man, let's just get into the STG and some stats. And here we have the recoil pattern for the STG, and as you guys can see, man, this recoil pattern looks exactly the same to the Cooper Carbines. And I don't know what it is, but for the last comparisons that I've made in like these last few weeks, it feels like every time I do a recoil pattern, they always have the same recoil pattern. Like, they're very similar now. I don't know what it is. Could be like a lazy thing from the developers. To be honest, I don't know if it really matters, because this gun isn't really about recoil patterns. It's not like a game like CSGO where you have to control it a certain way to have no recoil. This is all you gotta do is pull down. There's nothing too crazy about controlling recoil in this game. It's really easy. But very similar recoil patterns. Anyways, man, this STG, bro, from the day one that I started using it in season 2, man, this gun has been like, it has felt so different. I don't remember what they changed exactly on these guns in the patch notes, because again there was like like 20 pages of patch notes, but I'm pretty sure for most of these guns they ended up like tweaking their attachments. I don't think their base guns got nerfed or buffed or whatever. I'm not entirely sure on that, do not quote me, but overall they did receive kind of a buff because they got more bullet velocity now. But yet, you know, they still don't have enough bullet velocity to be considered better than Cold War Modern Warfare weapons, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully one day they're able to fix it, just like they did for Cold War when they first came in and they had trouble with bullet velocity. Hopefully they are able to fix it. I have faith they will, but you know, Warzone 2 is kind of like coming, so I don't know. We'll see how much effort they still put in. I'll give them credit though; they have been putting in work these last like month. I'll give them credit; they definitely have been doing a better job. And I'm expecting they close out this year strong. That's what I'm really hoping for. Anyways, man, moving on over to the first set that we're going to talk about is the fire rate. And for the Cooper Carbine, we have the 803 RPM, whereas the STG has a 600 RPM. Now, by hearing that, the Cooper Carbine has a 200 RPM advantage, which is pretty significant in terms of ARs. Like, not too many ARs have a high RPM like the Cooper Carbine. There's quite a few out there, but you know, for the most part, 800 RPM, I would say it was on this, like on the higher scale of fire rate for ARs. It's typically something that isn't default. That's more like an SMG thing, aside from Vanguard SMGs. So Vanguard SMGs, bro, I don't know, bro. They, for whatever reason, bro, they put them really low, only to have them increased by attachments. I mean, understandable, but I don't know, man. It's just weird. But moving on over to the first set of stats, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, when you hear these stats, the Cooper Carbine to you guys might not even seem that good, but for whatever reason, bro, this gun is so good even with these like not so flashy damage stats. So for 0 to 28 meters, we have 36 damage to the head, 20 to the neck, 27 to the chest, 24 to the stomach, and then 24 to the extremities. When you hear those damage stats, that's literally like the last set of damages that you hear from any gun. So like, let's say, for example, the MP40 has 3 sets of stats for 3 different ranges. The stats that I just read off sounds almost identical to the ones that the MP40 has when it's like at its last set of ranges, the longest set of ranges. And for the Cooper Carbine to have that as its default, it's kind of tough. Whereas the STG for 0 to 31 meters has 45 damage to the head and neck, 33 to the chest, 30 to the stomach, and then 30 to the extremities. So obviously there, bro, clear advantage in damage for the STG. And see, I would have said before the update that the Cooper Carbine, even with that, is still like significantly better than the STG. Right now, I'm gonna have to say that, like, bro, the STG just feels so much more different in this update, and like it's more of a close fight now. Definitely, like, the STG, for the most part, I would say edges out the Cooper Carbine just a little bit. The Cooper Carbine is still really, really good, but man, the STG, man, like, it just hits different now. Like that, truthfully, it just hits different. But anyways, man, for the Cooper Carbine, 28 meters and above, we have 28 damage to the head, 22 to the neck, 20 to the chest, 19 to the stomach, and 19 to the extremity. Again, signifying like it has not that much damage, almost kind of like the M13. Literally, like M13 and Cooper Carbine, 2 very similar guns. Literally, almost everything is identical to them about what they do, how they act. It's crazy. And then for the STG 31 meters and above, we have 39 damage to the head and neck, 20 to the chest, 26 to the stomach, and 26 to the extremity. So again, advantage in damage for the STG. However, it's like that's the only thing STG really has, because both of these guns have pretty good recoil control. The Cooper Carbine has fire rate advantage, which again, like, that is very important in this game, specifically for Vanguard weapons. Mobility is Cooper Carbine for sure. You can also use this Cooper Carbine as an SMG if you wanted to. I think definitely as an SMG this will be able to compete, because if it got put in this SMG, by default it's already like, I think the second fastest, second or even first fastest, second fastest SMG in terms of fire rate, right behind the P9 PPSH. But you know, this gun is so versatile. I think the STG is just more like obviously a traditional AR, and whereas like the Cooper Carbine is more of everything. I think you could get away with using it in every range, no matter what. Even with the class setup that I gave you guys right now, like, you could probably get away with it using it medium close range, and you will be fine just because of its fast fire rate. And again, man, not to say that like this Cooper Carbine is bad, but the STG is just right now, I think, the better choice for AR. In my opinion, I think I would probably pick the the STG just because of the damage, man. Like sometimes I use the Cooper Carbine, and although I can hit my shots, it takes too much. It shoots marshmallows basically. Yeah, that's just what it does. And that's why I don't really like the M13. You know, M13 is cool, and the Cooper Carbine is cool. I mean, the Cooper Carbine in my opinion is better than M13, and I would use it 100% over the M13. But in this specific comparison, I'm picking my bad, STG over the Cooper Carbine. Again, Cooper Carbine is still a really good AR. Do not sleep on it. But for me personally, I'm an STG stand. But anyways, man, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And talk to you guys later. I'm out. Peace.